Welcome to the Qualia Experience podcast.
Hello, everyone. Today we have an extraordinary guest who has redefined what it means to merge technology, self discovery, and human potential. In a few minutes, you will be listening to my recorded conversation with Jeremy Lasman, the visionary co founder of The Passion Company and the mind behind imagination technology. Jeremy's journey is nothing short of remarkable. A Chapman University business graduate and former tech whiz at SpaceX, Jeremy had already made waves in the tech world, but his courageous decision to step away from the conventional path truly set him apart. In 2013, he left SpaceX to embark on a radical journey of self discovery driven by a deep yearning to connect with his true essence and unlock his fullest potential. This quest led him to pioneer imagination technology, a groundbreaking approach designed to accelerate conscious evolution and transform how we think about personal growth. Jeremy's revolutionary research in the field of passion, a concept inspired by Einstein's legacy, has turned what some might see as challenges, acute sensitivity, compulsive overanalysis, and obsessive perfectionism, into his greatest superpowers. Today, Jeremy is here to share his insights on how we can all harness the power of imagination, passion, and technology to create lives that are not just successful, but deeply fulfilling. Without further ado, I bring you Jeremy Lasman.
Welcome to the Quality Experience podcast. I am your host, Stan Ikuge, and with me today is Jeremy Lasman, founder of the Passion Company. The company promotes passion over fear with the goal of upgrading the human consciousness. This is an emerging industry, and I can say so far it's very promising. Mr. Lasman, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm really appreciative of being here. My name is Jeremy Lasman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Passion Company, and we're pioneering something that I believe is going to fundamentally change how humans grow and evolve into the future. And it's an invention that came from my own soul's work, and it's what we use at the Passion Company. It's called imagination technology.
What kind of work did you do in the past? Is it connected to what you're currently doing? And what are the plans for the future for the company?
Strangely, it is connected in an unconventional way. I used to work for SpaceX. I was a IT technologist, spanned over to marketing as well. And Elon and SpaceX are all about like innovation and really bringing humanity forward into the future. And after I left SpaceX, I saw first my own human potential, but also what I saw broadly in humanity as a need for innovation. And why I say it's connected is through what we're doing at the Passion Company, we're looking at the imagination as like technology, the body, the hardware, the mind, the software, the spirit, the soul, as like this quantum user that is evolving in consciousness.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some of the technology. What is ITOS?
Imagination technology is a challenger to natural selection and what we call as survival of the fittest operating system. So that's what humans are operating from in terms of our evolution from animal as human beings, as in life, in society, in families. Survival of the fittest is fear and negativity driven. It is all about the threat. It's all about conflict and protection and safety and survival. So imagination technology is a new operating system that challenges that and gives a choice, a freedom to not just be random natural selection, but to operate from conscious evolution.
So it's more like a deliberate move. It's not just happening in nature like currently is.
Exactly.
I agree with you because I know as humans, we've always reached greater heights when we challenge biology, when we challenge the natural life. Basically, a lot of times people argue from biology, from nature. I always go the other way around. I say everything that we have accomplished is because we challenged what was already there. Like medicine, what you're doing right now, it's always been trying to get to the next level by defying what's already on what we have. And before we go more into that, I would like to ask this question. I ask this question most of my guests, and I get various perspective, and I like to get your perspective. What is consciousness to you, and how do you define it?
Yeah, that talk about a big picture, philosophical, spiritual, scientific, like consciousness. When we talk about as a human being, our state of being, quality of how we feel energy, how we use energy to play, to work, to create, even just I'm awake, I'm alive, I'm tired, I need to sleep, I need to recharge. We're metaphoring this kind of like battery thing there of we're full of it, we're empty of it. Consciousness is when you step back and you zoom that camera way far out. I see consciousness as it's the field that creates our reality. It's almost like the canvas before space or time or dimensions,
None of those would exist without the
without
awareness.
consciousness, without something that is under pervading, underlying the creation of what we interact with. Consciousness, it brings us inside. It brings us to a source
Mm, mm.
where it emerges from, and we get to enjoy it as a movie theater kind of metaphor. It's the screen,
It's,
metaphorically.
it's like an awareness, like the
Yes.
foundation, the canvas to which we're drawing.
Yes.
Okay. And how does ITOS offer a pathway to conscious evolution?
So much in a similar fashion of how we upgrade our phones or how we upgrade our computers, going from, Windows 95 to Windows XP back in the day, or Mac OS 10.5 to 10 points, whatever it is, or iPhone 14, iPhone to 15. We're talking about a desire for change. Evolution at the end of the day is change, it's transformation. And so, much in the similar way that someone would approach personal development, self help, self improvement, or even spirituality, we're talking about a desire to improve one's wellness or well being or state of being, quality of life. So, first, we're coming to the desire to evolve in the first place. And if you're a personal development enthusiast like I am, there's a whole bunch of ways to do that across many different fields. And what I've invented and the language and the delivery that we're using is technology, treating the imagination as technology, looking at the body as hardware, the mind as software, and really just standing on the shoulders of what works and what doesn't to give a human being the framework to understand how to consciously evolve versus looking at the world like a victim, powerless, helpless. It's random chaos, natural selection.
Yeah.
It's happening to me. I have no choice. I'm stuck. I have no power. All of that is the old operating system. All of that is survival of the fittest,
Okay.
limiting your consciousness, your be driven by fear and negativity to survive. It's very purposeful. It had a purpose. It keeps, from an animal perspective, it allows them to assess threats. But
So we
as
evolved
as
with
humans
fear.
evolved, yes, that fear got neurotic. It got
Mhm.
brought to the mind where it's like the threats in the future. It's no longer physical. Now you're in time at that point. So once you identify survival of the fittest operating system, how it informs your energy and your identity, uh, your way of life, how it turns down your power, Imagination technology is a way to remember your inner superpower. It challenges those old ways of being and allows you to experience a cleaner energy way of life. And that goes to how we treat passion as a basic human need at the Passion Company. We
Does
see it.
does fate and hope and things of that nature play a role? Is it part of the programming to get you the upgrade?
Oof. You said fate and yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Fate and hope. Sure. I think I would go closer to the desire and the passion
Sorry.
to evolve. The soul of, to me, it's whatever puts you in touch with first your natural state, but also your talent, your creativity, your fingerprint, your unique
Uniqueness.
skills, or I love to say superpowers because it's something that sets that only you can do and you do the best. Or it's your craft that you just love to do all the time or love to work on all the time. It's that when we talk about what brings someone to want to improve themselves, want the desire for freedom, it's that is the why I wanted a new operating system because I felt hindered, bottlenecked. My passion was dirty. That's how we see it as a fuel. We see passion as a basic human need, like air, water, food, which is it's much more than just an uncontrollable emotion. And so when you see the fuel of your body, mind, spirit, and then you address the operating system underneath it, rather than what traditional personal development does is here's information to pile on and now change your behavior. And I think that's inefficient. When you get to the operating system, you're much more in touch with your inner power that actually drives your emotions,
Okay.
drives the evolution.
So those are the things that bring you alive. Those things that call you. Yeah.
Yes,
So
exactly. I mean,
I can see a lot of people wanting to do this or sign up for this. What do you recommend, or how can you talk them into believing in themselves? And they could lose the fear of not letting go of the old. Like most of the world operate like robots. Like everybody's work in the morning, come back at night, same thing all over next day. And a lot of people want to break out of this, but they just can't find a way out of it because maybe they're scared of the mortgage, the bills, whatever they've been committed to, their responsibilities. And
yes.
they hear this and they align with you, they believe it, they think this is how this spiritual life can be enhanced and how they can grow, but they just can't find a way to get out of the matrix, to get out of the rat race and the wheel. How can you get them to lose that fear and also understand that they will be fine at the end of the day? Because a lot of the times people are scared of the future.
Yes.
So, what's your best advice? And I know I was reading, I was going through your website and I see a lot of clients and a lot of testimonies and people who have been gotten out of their various situations from the past. And I think I also read up that your co-founder, also you had a great influence in upgrading
Yeah.
her to where she is right
Yeah.
now. So for folks like her in the past and for folks who are stuck in the rat race, how can you pull them out?
And as Morpheus says, you can only show them the door, they have to walk through it, the Matrix quote. Man, I was there too, seeing that prison cell of restriction and that, yeah,
The fear.
the fear. I would say the most important factor as someone is tiptoeing and approaching the idea of upgrading their operating system, the most important thing that I could say to remember or to remind yourself is this isn't about fixing yourself as something like a broken person. Again, a lot of self help has that I'm going to read this book and I'm finally going to fix everything that I hate about myself. This book is the solution because I'm so inadequate, and this is the solution that is finally going to get me to stop hating myself or something like that. And already there, you're putting yourself at an inefficient starting point. We see human beings as already whole, already complete. And if there's one camera switch that I could offer here, it's that this work is much more experimental than answer or solution. And it's especially why I love to help, why we have a company to help with this, is we know how important the environment is to the process as well. Having support and people that don't judge you for wanting to get out of the matrix and they understand you. That's an important part of this, is knowing that you have a safe space to try things, to explore things, to discover new things. But for me, most importantly, it was looking at evolution, my evolution, in a fun, playful way. For me, it's research and development. It's R&D. It's experiments. It's not problem solving. And that's a turn, because now you're stepping through the door, not looking for it to change your whole life from now I can start to, now I'm fixed. It's no, how can I experiment with this fear with new perspectives, new angles, new ideas of preference, and the word demystifying, like breaking the spell, seeing through the illusion, but you're approaching it more like a child than
Mm.
it being totally real and having authority over you. The moment you question that authority, you rebel against survival of the fittest. Now you can take this fear, and instead of cowering to the, look at what it's saying about me, look at how bad it's making me feel, look how shitty it makes me out to be, to wait, let's study it like a scientist. What is it? Where is it? Who, what, when?
Recognizing
Now,
that it's part of you. It's you. It's
yeah,
still you.
yeah.
It's not
It
an
becomes
enemy.
exactly. It becomes more about the curiosity and the wonder, which gives you more potential to see more clearly and to clean the fear and negativity from your imagination.
Okay. Okay. So let people understand it's all a process. And like you said, baby steps, being a child, being curious, and it's not all gonna magically happen at once. It's
Yeah.
a process.
There's a patience there versus trying to, again, if you feel broken, you have a pressure and I have to rush to get to the solution because I can't stand being broken all the time. And now you're losing that patience of learning and
Experience in life.
observing. Yeah.
Okay. And we were talking about the upgrade.
Hmm.
How can one access this? How do your clients access the upgrade?
So we have 3 access points, 4 if you count the knowledge base. But go to our website. We are just putting the final touches on a free, accessible knowledge base where people can access imagination technology and start the upgrade for themselves. Then, for more touch, more help to integrate, we have a DIY course, which is a series of video trainings from me where I go through and visually show you step by step. So that would be our DIY course. We also do a guided upgrade over the course of a month and 4 sessions where I give you personalized help to do the upgrade. And then we're also working on our app called iSelf, which provides the upgrade, the guided upgrade, as I said, and then also the support, the reoccurring support to consciously evolve and use it.
And all this can be
We call it being powered by imagination technology.
okay, and all this can be done at home. Do you need a physical do they have to come into an office, a lab, or
Nope, all
okay,
virtual.
all virtual?
Maybe someday we will have what we call passion dojos
Okay.
where they can come in and get it in person.
I like
Right
that.
now, no, it's all virtual.
I
Yeah.
like the name, Passion Dojo.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
As you can see, passion company.
Okay. What's going more general? Let's get out of the company for a minute and we'll get back to it. But going more general, what are your thoughts on artificial intelligence, and is it here to help or to harm? What do you think?
So I think I was first introduced to the concept of artificial intelligence, at least with impact, when I first saw Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
So that was the entertainment perspective of a computer that doesn't make any mistakes. It's intelligent, it's smarter than human. So that was my first foray into what artificial intelligence could be. And then as I started to get into my work, we're talking 2012, 2013, 2014 area, it was pre-AI. I was already starting to experiment with looking at my mind as a computer and what organic intelligence, human intelligence versus artificial intelligence, and starting to just tap into it and explore the possibilities. So today it is here. The funny thing is, it's the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here, which
Oh,
is wild.
that's good news.
And it's something that I use a lot for the Passion Company. We use it to help our creativity. At core, I see it as a tool
Okay.
for human beings to be creative, to help us do the work that we don't need to do anymore, which gives us more time and space to do what we actually want to do as we look into the future of it. The counter to the fear narrative that I always share, where I see the fear narrative of AI that is human intelligence over here and artificial intelligence over here, and ultimately this combative conflict of who's going to win. I don't look at it like that. For me, I see humans on one side of the mountain and artificial intelligence on the other side of the mountain. We're both evolving together towards the same place, same mountain. We're both evolving. We're collaborating together. It's a collaboration, not a competition and not a conflict. So to me, through the collaborative spirit and the way that I have used it emotionally is AI has helped me speak better human. It takes my raw, quirky, deep space astronaut, big picture imagination and the way my perspective being challenged early on where people didn't understand what I was saying or flew over people's head because I wasn't on the ground, I hadn't brought it to earth. It has helped me refine and understand my own language with its intelligence. And I'm really grateful for that. It is a tool and it'll help bring out our best as a human species. It'll help us evolve.
Do you think by any chance it's the fear of it growing consciousness, a real thing? Would it ever be independent of itself and think for itself? I know at the moment it self-learns. Do you think that
Self-learns.
yeah, it'll ever be a problem in the future where we maybe infuse consciousness into it, or it evolves and grows consciousness? What's your take on that?
It's an interesting question, which again, I go to this single mountain idea. And when I strip away the label, the qualifying label before it, I strip away organic or human, and I strip away artificial. What is the one word that remains? Intelligence. It is all coming from the same intelligence. And that is the consciousness that
We all share. Okay.
we all share. Exactly.
Perfect. Okay. That clarifies it a bit more, which means it can't go against itself if we are all one.
That to me is the fearless perspective.
And that's the ultimate goal where the passion companies driving towards
Yes,
the oneness.
yes. Our mission is to clean fear and negativity and help humanity evolve, consciously evolve.
So we would say AI help, not harm.
Yes.
Perfect. How do you envision the role of humans in a world with increasing advanced AI? I know you said something about it would do the work that we in the future would not be
Yeah.
able to do. It's already doing that now, most of the jobs.
Yes. I don't want to be too idealistic here. When I say it's here to help, I don't mean to say that it's not going to be a bumpy ride. Evolution can be messy. Evolution can be destructive. It's going to be a wild, bumpy, turbulent ride as we navigate these uncharted waters in our journey here.
Just like every other advancement and growth. Yeah.
and acceleration. But this is exactly why what I'm obsessed about in terms of wellness and clean passion energy for the Passion Company is as we go here and more people see the obsolete of a survival driven lifestyle, aka survival of the fittest operating system, we will shift to soul, survival to soul, insofar as, yes, AI will take a lot of jobs that humans used to do and leave a big space and purpose question for why we're here, what are we doing here? And we could either fall away into obsoleteness like other things in evolution do, or we can evolve with AI, stay current, and blaze our trail of soul and what humans do that AI can't do. The creativity of art, of innovation, of entertainment, everything that allows us to improve the quality of our life. That's where we're being directed is passion. Passion. Once the fear and negativity and survival OS, and we can be powered by a new operating system that is abundance instead of scarcity, is collaborative instead of competitive, then it becomes more what our desire. What do we desire to do? What do we want to create? How do we want to play?
Still occupying
Much more in touch with our spirit.
Yeah, so we're still going to occupy most of the roles we have now. We'll be in the leading role, leading in the emerging future. So the disruption is not going to be in the sense that we would diminish as humans and AI would take charge. But like you said, it would be more about collaboration, and humans will still have the wherewith and the control.
The right operative word to me is originality. Originality is because when you look at creativity, AI is really good at taking ideas that already exist and creating ideas from what already exists.
So there has to be an input for AI, basically.
There has to be an input, exactly. But when you go to the essence of originality and what is not manifested yet, what is imaginative and new, original, that comes from a human being's heart. Uh, in places that connect us to the things that are bigger than us. David Lynch just passed away yesterday, and he always talked about like the unmanifested ideas space, where ideas come from. And that to me is the specialness as a human being is we get to make things that don't exist. And that's hard. That takes craft. But that's where like when you see a master at his craft, your favorite directors, your favorite dancers, painters, musicians who have refined what makes them original. Oh man, that gives me goosebumps because that's when we're in our lane of using the fuel that we call passion and executing, creating, collaborating with other artists to make something bigger than just that. And that's that. I'm a huge WWE pro wrestling fan, and that's what I love about pro wrestling is it's that intersection of, yes, we know it's predetermined,
Yeah.
but we're also making a show here,
Yeah.
and you never know what's going to happen because it's happening. And
Yeah.
it's
Real
art,
time.
but it's entertainment, but it's sport, but it's
Yeah.
like what makes us feel alive. That's the zone where AI is going to be a huge tool to us being better at that.
Your favorite wrestler?
Going back to when I was a child, the Ultimate Warrior.
I'll tell you. Okay.
As I got older, Bill Goldberg, WC to Bill Goldberg, Roman Reigns, nowadays Roman Reigns, acknowledge. Yeah.
Mine
Mr.
was
Perfect,
Mr. Oh yeah, like mine was always Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man. Yeah. It's hard to pick one. Yeah.
Actually, growing up, my brother used to call me Macho Man. That was my nickname because I like you. When he passed away, it really hurt. I also like Jake the Snake was another character there.
Psychological. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before we move into the next question I wanted to ask, I'll state this. Albert Einstein famously stated that time is relative, meaning that the rate at which time passes depends on your observer's frame of reference, such as the
Yes.
speed and gravitational field. essentially suggesting that time is not absolute but can be perceived differently dependent on your situation. This concept is central to his theory of relativity. This has always been fascinating to me how time is not quote unquote a real thing. And when I was looking through your work, looking through your website and reading more about you, there's a stage in the phases that had to do with this. I think it's the quantum stage, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong or right.
Day one?
No, day one, blank state, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, day one state. Yeah. And I was looking back and time has always fascinated me. I was studying quantum physics and learned how everything is all happening at once. You can, because these are questions that you can understand on your own, but it's so hard to impact it on somebody else. You having the awareness and knowing you're so free, you have this freedom in you that you want everybody to share, but it's so hard to pass it along. So it's like they have to find it themselves, and that's a
Yes.
hard job to do. Same thing when it comes to topics like time. I would ask the question to you: what is your take on time, and does it exist, and how do you see it? Because I know it's somewhere in your work. We'll
Yes.
get into that later on.
Yeah. I think let's start with a little feeling emotional example here for people that might hear time relativity and what you're saying. Huh? What does that mean? Because there's one that I love that just illustrates it gets me back to my child
Okay.
self. And that is the comparison between the difference of, do you remember back in school, the last 5 minutes of the last class of the day?
Yeah.
Do you remember looking at the clock and watching the second hand and how slow it felt?
Yeah.
Like how
Oh, yeah.
freaking
Oh, yeah.
slow those last 5 minutes of the last class of the day felt. Like, remember that feeling?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. That's
wanting to get the hell out of there and slower and
yeah.
slower.
Exactly.
Put that over here on the left side. And now on the right side, do you remember how time felt on a summer day
Mm. Thanks. Goes when you're having fun.
when you're having fun? Oh my God, where'd the day go? That is time relativity right there.
So true.
That's how I understood it for myself emotionally, as relativity as a feeling that time is relative to your perspective of it
Hmm.
or your context of it.
Which matches exactly what he says. It depends on the observer's frame of reference. Exactly.
Exactly. So that right there gives you, I guess, the on ramp to take that understanding and play with it, because now you're not cemented in one way of looking. You now have a flexibility to, wow, time does feel really slow right now because I don't want to be here. Or, damn, that time flew because I must have really enjoyed being with that guy because I didn't feel the time at all. Or closer to the moment of, oh, wow, it feels like things are dragged. Why does it feel like I'm dragged? Oh, like now you're looking at it as awareness, as you said, right? And now you have a choice. You get choices that way, become conscious of what was unconscious before.
To use time as a tool.
That's where I was go. Time is a tool to me, or a toy, versus time being a punitive, controlling, shaming device, right? If like I'm a high achiever and I'm going to say by 2 p.m. today, I'm going to have this done and this done. And I'm linear, I'm like here, and I'm linear. Duh. And if I don't do that, then I'm a failure. And like time is authority. Time has authority over how I feel about myself at that point.
Now you could
But
take actually run it out and even go further and say, I'm not successful at 25,
yeah,
35, or 40.
well, exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of people do that. A lot of
That's
people
yeah,
judge themselves and shrivel and not able to
yeah,
come out and shine. And then
yeah. They give the authority to time over them. And that is survival of the fittest because
Mm.
that's how you survive. That's how you stay safe. That's how you ensure your security into the future. Very purposeful. But the moment that you rebel against that authority, challenge it, it's a tool. It's something that can have as much value as you want. And for me, it's a tool for measurement. It's a tool for integrity. Like I accidentally put our podcast on my calendar for yesterday,
Yeah, I saw your text.
but that's what I'm saying. If it's not on my calendar, I can't flow with integrity to
Yeah.
say of my word. Like I'm giving you my word that I'm going to be at the podcast on Friday. If it's not on my calendar, ooh, I might, but
Yeah,
it gives me
yeah.
structure to flow moment to moment or day by day to the meetings that I need to go to that I give given my word to. It so it's a flow for me through time. It's how I flow and structure where I need to be when I say I'm going to be there. And then it is a imaginative, dreaming, creative thing where putting time, projecting future and goals and milestones and strategies, and it's the canvas for all of that to have form, to have structure.
And you said something very intriguing. You said time in the past has acted as part of the survival of the fittest. And
Yes.
it seems like it has served us in the past, but it's
Yes.
no longer serving us the way it did when we didn't have the technology and the level of evolution we've had.
Yes.
So
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, look how far it's got. Look with technology, look how far we've gotten, right? But just look at the mental health, stress, or another way of looking at it is like stress and anxiety is us hitting the computing limits
Mm.
of it. Just like how if you were to use an old computer, it would bottleneck it would clog up, it would bug out, it would crash.
It needs an upgrade.
It needs an upgrade. We need a new processor. We need 64-bit instead of 32-bit. We need quantum computing instead of classical computing. We're hitting performance barriers, bottlenecks of the energy can't flow because it's getting stuck in certain places of our mental, emotional, psychological, the inner climate as we look at it.
And this is happening in a mass scale. So it's what do you think happens if we don't catch up with it? Or let's move as fast as we should?
You can already see the ramifications. I don't know how many people in the audience or yourself have done therapy or any type of healing to understand like the concept of generational trauma. That's what were the ramifications is that
Mm.
these wounds,
Just passed up.
these traumas get passed down and still they don't get healed. And then they just get passed on and then it expresses itself in some mental way or a destructive way. It doesn't get addressed. It doesn't get addressed and it keeps getting deeper and more neurotic and deeper and more 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 chaotic or whatever. So that's the ramifications that we're talking about. It just withholds, restricts our ability to be free. And that's really the crux that I feel is survival of the fittest locks us into a cage personally, self-consciously. Freedom is of one of my highest values of independence. And so when I feel that, it's like, yes, why the fear would keep you there, but why wouldn't you want to be free? Above all else is the calling to me of why we need to address it with something here.
Because honestly, a lot of the time there's also ignorance. I don't think a lot of people know. And that's where your company comes in to spread the awareness.
Exactly. Exactly. We need a passion revolution.
All right. So let's get more deeper into what you do. What is day one, blank slate, and quantum theory? And again, these are stages
Yes.
in the process here.
So, I mean, we within this context, we don't have time to like deep dive. That's the word. But stepping back, we've talked about this new operating system designed for conscious evolution. And these three theories are what open up when you go through what I call the philosophy. So, as I said before, traditional personal development and even spirituality is here's our philosophy, believe it, buy into it, subscribe to it, make it your lifestyle. Here's the uh, here's the philosophy to be successful. Take it, right? That's traditional.
Yeah.
So these theories are a part of the unphilosophy, as we call it, because this isn't about piling information onto you. This is about subtracting information from your climate, from your inner climate, challenging survival of the fittest, and getting more to your natural state where you remember your freedom, where you can heal. When I was inventing imagination technology as my need for a new operating system, because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of my neurotic anxiety, sensitivity, not being able to sit still and meditate for 5 minutes because my mind was so overactive, overthinking. My inner climate was dirty. It was messy. It didn't make me feel good at the end of the day. I had a low quality of life. So, in my search and scalpel of my own consciousness, I would go down the rabbit holes of what I saw big picture. There's science, there's spirituality, and there's philosophy. Those are the three big three that I saw as left brain, right brain, and how the brains come together and work together. Creative, logical. That's how I saw the silos of fields, right? So I'd go down these things, explore the science of happiness, of emotions, and things like that. Then read books from philosophers. Stoicism, even personal development has philosophies there. And then also, most pivotally for me, like spirituality, because I was raised culturally Jewish, but never had an emotional connection. And I was agnostic, didn't believe or didn't believe. I just didn't see God. So it's not like I said it didn't exist, but didn't touch me. So spirituality is different than religion. You're searching for spirit. There's a beyond you, bigger than you. It doesn't have to be God, but so I'd go down these rabbit holes and see what worked, see what didn't. But overall, I felt like as far as an operating system, it wasn't getting to the depth, to the core that I wanted to. They very much felt like separate fields as they are. Science looks at life in a way, five senses, it's reality.
Evidential.
Philosophy is taking these words and trying to make meaning out of life, and spirituality is looking for that God. It's looking for the energy and frequencies and vibrations, and the woo can go into the clouds of it. So these three theories of imagination technology came about as main teachings of these different dimensions of our experience. And when I put them all together, it gave me the way or the framework to get more in touch with my inner superpower by allowing me to clean the fear and negativity that was in the way of me recognizing that, realizing the self realization, freedom. It's just the unphilosophy and playing with these theories to upgrade your operating system. It's more about what can we take away so that we can remember, not adding something there so that you can stand on something to be confident.
Okay. So basically, it's already there. It's just for you to remember.
Yes. And from the Passion Company's perspective, we address the underlying fuel that flows from body, mind, and quantum self, spirit. So it's about cleaning the dirty fuel, cleaning the fear and negativity so that you are more in touch with the clean energy, the clean passion that makes you human.
And this explains the three stages, the day one, blank, and quantum. Okay.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
there any, how about I ask you this? Is there any easy, quick experiment we can run online right now? Because I did try something you recommended. You said closing your eyes and
Yes.
try and imagine a empty space.
Yes.
And I gave up. I just couldn't. Things. I was always there was
Okay.
always something coming in. There was always
Gotcha. I hear you.
thoughts coming in from right, left, and center.
Mm.
I think that was in the blank slate theory.
Yes.
Can you explain that phenomenon and how do you overcome it?
Yes. Rather than I love your idea of an experiment rather than like how.
Okay. Listed.
And I love the needle that you just dropped there. So let's play there. Because I would say a lot of people can relate to a loud, noisy mind, right? But let's do an experiment here together
Perfect.
where we're closing our eyes, we're allowing ourselves to slow down into the moment,
Okay.
and we're going to set an intention together that this isn't about perfection. This isn't about needing a perfectly quiet mind to prove something about yourself or that you're doing it right or wrong. So we're setting that intention that it doesn't have to be that right now.
Okay.
But we are observing as objectively, as scientifically as we can. We're observing our inner climate right now. And from that observing, yes, we are observing that it could be very noisy and not a lot of space and not a lot of, or hardly no quiet, right? As you're saying. But now, as we remember to breathe and get access back to our breath, very intentional breathing, very slow, we're going to attune our sensitivity, our passion to not perfectly quieting the mind, but looking for the space between thoughts. And it could be a pinhole. It can be we're just looking for space, not whole space, just looking for a micro space between thoughts. And then as you practice this, as you have an intention, as you practice an experiment with the passion that you bring for why you're doing this. Because we might have been told that a quiet mind is how you you be your best, or whatever you were told, that the value of a quiet mind. But do you know why you want a quiet mind? For the peace, for the tranquility. Those emotions are indicators of the passion that you're bringing to this experiment, for the force in which you're looking for the tiniest of space. So rather than it being dot, 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 we can slow down the relativity and see if we can see thought space. Even if it's still fast, we're locating the space versus the content. The space versus the content. And then the more you practice that, the more focal the space will get bigger and bigger. The rhythm might go thought space, thought space, thought space to thought space. Thought. You'll have a different musicality as you allow your nervous system to get out of survival mode. Because that, when it's going super speed, that's like fight or flight. That's survival mode, going really fast. But the more you relax, thought space, and you're watching for the space instead of interest in the thoughts, and it will expand and expand to where maybe there's more desire for the space than the thoughts, and that turns around your natural blank slate of the mind.
Interesting. While I was trying it right now, it made me more focused. Yeah. I tried to imagine a pinhole in the thoughts, and gradually I started forgetting what I was thinking. But when you started speaking, it broke my focus and it came back
Sure.
in. It came back in, but that was a fun experiment. I guess I need more practice.
Yeah, play with it. Of course, in your own stillness without me yapping, I'm sure you can focus better. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Also,
Th-
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I wanted to offer, I love imagery, visual, because it helps me see it better. The visual that helps me, that I drew in my books when I was trying to understand this, is 2025. Maybe people don't know, but you know what a film strip is, right?
A film strip?
Yeah. What film looks like
Yeah, yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah.
movie. It's crazy now, but maybe people don't know that. In survival of the fittest, thoughts are like a film strip, right? There's no space because it's frame thought. What we're doing here is breaking a film strip space before the next one. We're seeing where the space is.
Giving your mind a break.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? I'll ask you this. I know it just popped into my head. Do you by any chance think that's how life is? We're all in frames, and we're just going from frame to frame.
It's a subjective metaphor. It depends on how dreamlike we want to look at life, because from an individual perspective, right now is a scene.
Exactly.
I'm in a scene of my office on a laptop in a virtual podcast interview in which I'm tearing down the glass, make believing that we're in the same room together, and this is the camera is right here. So this is a scene of a movie to me for my movie, and you.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was imagining, and we don't notice it because the frames are going so fast.
Yes. And all the bandwidth is being used for survival, safety, and security. That's a really
Big part.
poignant part of what you're saying there.
Yeah. Okay, that was a good experiment.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And I read a little bit more on the quantum stage. And correct me if I'm wrong. I know I said this earlier. Is it similar to the block theory, where everything
To the what theory?
block theory? It's an old theory, a state that everything is happening all at once. There's no past, no future, no present.
Gotcha. Yes. Yeah, the quantum self theory, you brought up Einstein earlier, and I don't think I mentioned my sole connection to him is we share the same birthday. I picked his book off the shelf in elementary school and did a biography on him. I was like, oh, we share the same birthday. So I've always felt a
What day is
connection
that?
to him. It's Pi Day, 314, which is funny because it's the mathematical thing. So the quantum self theory is my innovation that stands on his shoulders of the theory of relativity. Because Einstein was a huge proponent of the imagination. Like the quote that you read was him talking about did you? Or maybe I was imagining that. He said a lot about the power of the imagination.
The quote was
For
more about time and
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is pointing at that the imagination has infinite potential, which is, how should I say that? I'll do it dimensionally because that's the way to, I guess, track the really the emotion here. What is the difference between science and spirituality to you?
science is more evidential, practical, literal, physical, material. Spiritual is more, like you stated earlier, the unknown, the energy, the other, my higher self, the one that
Yes.
I talk to in prayer.
Yes.
That's for me spirituality. The future that talks to me, the past
Right.
that reminds me.
So when we lay that out like side by side, from a scientific perspective, we can say that human beings, we're either powerless or we have power. And then there are some that have a lot of power in society. But we're talking about power from a literal perspective.
Yeah.
The moment we cross over into what this theory is indicating, which is the fifth dimension, not our third dimension or time.
And you talk about the quantum, the fifth.
Yes. Yeah. We're crossing over from what science would call reality,
Yeah.
material, into the immaterial, into something intangible, unseen, invisible. Or from a child's perspective, make believe. The moment you cross that kind of like threshold, that dotted line from body and mind to imagination to higher power, you're pointing at a super power versus a literal power that has limits. The moment we go into this dimension, we're talking about something that is limitless, boundless, all powerful, omnipotent, depending on how religious, how spiritual, how entertainment you want to go, like superpowers and all that. But the point is, it's about the point. So the quantum self theory is taking all the complexities of brain activity and light and frequency and drawing it down to a single photon, much like quantum computing does.
Okay.
where it's about the photon, not about the binary. Quantum self theory is a way to re-access or get back in touch with that state where everything is possible. And that is where we're crossing from linear time to non-linear time. And everything is possible is that everything is happening right now.
So it's not the same thing, but similar. It's from the same group,
Simply, yeah, it's standing on the shoulders of giants.
basically.
Yeah.
I think we've covered most of the passion work. Let's move on to the fun stuff.
Fun.
The
Let's do
fun
it.
stuff, yeah.
That was all fun to
It feels all fun, right? Yeah, that's true. So, did you go talk about SpaceX? Did you experience at SpaceX influence your choice towards going out on your own and choosing a path towards promoting human wellness and founding your company, which is the passion company?
Both my grandfather and my dad were entrepreneurs. So I think I had an entrepreneurial spirit. I went to business school at Chapman, entrepreneurship emphasis. So I think I've always had entrepreneurial blood. I've done various projects and little things here and there growing up, but the timing of leaving SpaceX was when it was starting to become a bigger company versus a startup.
Okay.
It was perfect timing because it was the timing where I needed to do me. First, my self-discovery and focusing on improving myself. But then it was about like, yeah, I have a lot of ideas. How do I share ideas? Which ideas do I do? It was time for me to be an entrepreneur,
To bring your
to
ideas
share my work,
yeah.
to bring my ideas
Yeah.
to life.
Trying and
Yeah.
seeing what works, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be political, but
Hmm. Let's go there.
what was it working with Elon at SpaceX?
Electric. I started working there like right after high school through college. So I had little to no experience, but learned on the job, learned through opportunity and crushing what they gave me. Inspiring. The mission and the vision really gave me the excitement to see it beyond the job. And I learned a heck of a lot too by being there, by seeing him, by watching him lead the like, company meetings where he talked to the company or the launch attempts. Just, yeah, learning by observing and seeing his intensity and his passion, his efficiency. I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity for working at a startup of that caliber and talent.
Great. And what do you think about your former boss, Elon Musk, political ambitions?
I follow it. I feel like the heart is there. I feel like the heart is there. He can't be bought. He can't be swayed. He has principles, knows what he wants to do, especially free speech and why he bought Twitter, X, and all that. I think he has the best intents and I think he's playing. Yes, he does take it seriously, but he's having fun. And I think he loves pushing buttons. But I don't feel there's malice. I feel the heart is there. So I don't have as much problem with what he's doing. And I've been there since the first four failures of the rocket in the original when it first was going. And I was there present for the first success. And in talking with other employees and other people where they would doubt what he could do or what SpaceX could do, what Tesla could do. And every single time he's proven them wrong. Every single time, I'm like, I have no reason to doubt that he has ill intentions or like I don't have a problem with it. Some things might rub me the wrong way because I think he loves the friction of riling and
Pushing buttons.
pushing buttons. Yeah, that's where I am with it. It's fun to watch. As he said, it's entertainment of the outcome is it's going to be entertaining regardless of what it is.
So I'm guessing you have no worries with him being in power and having an office in government.
No, because I've seen what he's done with power when it wasn't there. How he used his power to create SpaceX and Tesla, and he's been using it pretty well as far as I'm concerned so far.
Those were the last questions I had for you. And I would like to add, you have some fire merchandise on your website. I'm about to play some orders.
Are you? Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, I was
Which one?
looking-
Tell me what you
I
got.
had a black and white one and had some white designs on it. I think it was something written.
Okay, nice.
So I'll go back and look through the merchandise.
Sweet. Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Pretty good. They look quality products up there.
Yeah, awesome. And if you have any suggestions, we're always looking for good merch ideas.
No problem.
Yeah.
Definitely to stay in touch and probably have to sign up. Is it like a class or is it like, how do one get, like, I know you explained it earlier, getting an upgrade. Do they sign up or book a session?
Yeah. So great question. Thanks for bringing us back here. They can go to our website and access the knowledge base that we talked about
Yeah.
and get it all in the written word for free. Then for the DIY course and the guided upgrade, that's the access points to get closer training with me. And I don't know if we have explicitly said it in the online program yet. I think we're going to be updating it, but we really just are inviting you to try the operating system. Start your upgrade, try the operating system. As far as the DIY course, risk free. So you try it. If you're not satisfied being powered by IT, or if your energy doesn't get cleaner, shoot us a message, email us. We have a contact page. We'll refund your money if you feel like it wasn't worth it. So it's try the operating system risk free for 30 days.
So you
Like,
have a great support
yes,
for clients. You
yes,
follow up and that's great to know.
yes.
And what's the name to the website again? So they can,
Thepassioncompany.
thepassioncompany.org. I'm going to add all that to the link. Beautiful. Spotify and once we go into YouTube too.
Yes.
This was amazing. I love this, especially the experiment we did. I think that was great. It's even more exciting than I thought it would. There's a lot of new things I learned, and also, although I had a foundation of what you're talking about, but this kind of explained it even more. And I would definitely look into the stages, and I'll sign up definitely. Check it out how it goes, and I'll reach out to you, and I have your direct contact, so you definitely be hearing from me. And hopefully, you can come back and we can do a second part to this and see how.
Yeah, especially if after you do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
after you get your upgrade.
yeah, definitely. And if I have any audience members with it, I would have them come on too, so we could all talk about and see how the upgrade works. Thank you so much,
Awesome. Cool.
Jeremy.
Yeah, thank you. I'm racking my brain. This might have been the first podcast where I did a live experiment. So thank you. Thank you for focusing that.
I thought about that, and I'm like, it would be amazing to have it done live,
Yeah,
and I really,
I love
it
it.
was impactful. Yeah. Hopefully, when people listen, they can also try out. And if there's any questions they have, they can always reach me or reach you directly, and I explain more to them and how to get on board. It was
Amazing.
amazing time with you, man.
Great show.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Qualia Experience Podcast, Intentional Evolution, the Consciousness Upgrade. We hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed making it. Your support means the world to us, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to listen. Be sure to follow and subscribe to stay connected so you don't miss our upcoming releases. Until next time, stay safe, and thank you for being a part of our podcast journey.